you tired of feeling fatigued and drowsy?
Hey, do you want to feel so energetic?
So tired.
That pick-me-up that you've been struggling to get every day of the week. Introducing Amphetamine, the only sure stimulant to keep you wide awake during your strenuous homework assignments and boring study halls.
Ooh, what's this? Oh my god! What? But wait, what else can be improved by taking amphetamine?
I'm glad you asked. There is so much more that can be improved. Not only do doctors use amphetamines to treat exhaustion,
Stand up.
but it also gives you the energy to make you stay up later and do your homework and study more.
Oh my god, this room is so messy! Ah! This is what I used to get. Now this is what I get!
The key is, amphetamine can actually unlock certain potentials within your body.
Wait, so this would be perfect medication for people with ADHD?
We recently found two young boys who one had a combined form of ADHD. That means they showed motor and impulsivity as well as attentional deficits, and the other child was more of a hyperactive predominant ADHD. And these two boys carry a small change in their dopamine transporter that makes the dopamine transporter act anomalously. It causes it to run backwards under conditions when it should be running forward. It should be pumping dopamine into the neuron, and we believe it's now pumping dopamine out. And obviously that's a kind of a short circuit, as it were, of a chemical signal. And what was most interesting about that study for us was that we knew that that kind of activity of moving dopamine out into the synapse could also be triggered by a specific drug, and that drug is amphetamine. So we, after we had found this change in the dopamine transporter in these two boys, we went back to our clinical records and asked, what are these children being treated with? And it turned out that they were being treated with amphetamine. Now this didn't make any sense. So why are we giving amphetamine to children which have a problem with their dopamine transporter that looks like they're on amphetamine? In fact, behaviorally, it looks like they're on amphetamine. So we realized that we had not expressed the mutant dopamine transporter in the lab and exposed it to amphetamine. We'd never done that combination. So we did it, and what we found was that amphetamine doesn't act the way it does on the normal dopamine transporter on this mutated form. It actually stops the protein from running backwards. So
Let me guess, that's the only thing it can do, right?
No, I want the other thing. Come on, I know it's just dangling out the tip of your tongue. Let me hear it just once, please.
Superman will never...
Wrong!
Absolutely not, my dear. You could go from this
Oh.
No, I'm gonna starve.
to this.
I lost 200 pounds thanks to amphetamine!
Dodgy medical use of amphetamine in the early 40s. It was known that amphetamine would restrict people's eating and help them lose weight. And so that was a big booming business in those generic knockoffs that couldn't, because weight loss couldn't be.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. But I bet you didn't know that Mr. Edelenio, he was the first one who ever synthesized amphetamine, but it was actually not even recognized for its stimulant properties till in the late 1930s. It first started out as Benzedrine. It was just used in inhalers for many other people.
And just said it was, it had certain ephedrine-like effects, could be used as a decongestant in nose drops, but also had central stimulating effects. And he later learned that there was an observer in the audience from a major drug company. Anyway, he started trying to find, even though he was looking for better drugs than amphetamine to use as an asthma remedy, he filed a patent and received a patent on the drug in 1932. And right around the time that he knew he was going to get the patent, it was going to be granted, he started contacting big drug companies to find out, if anyone wanted to buy his invention, to buy rights to it. Right around the time that he approached these drug companies, a product came out on the market from the drug firm SmithKline and French that was basically a version of his invention. It was amphetamine. It wasn't the amphetamine salts that you could take as a pill, which is what Allie's had patented, because that was always his goal, a pill, because it's preferred by patients, take a pill. It was pure amphetamine base, 325 milligrams of it, and very little else, sealed in a metal tube that was perforated at one end, and it was a decongestant inhaler. You're supposed to take the cap off the tube and stick it in your nose and breathe the volatile amphetamine, which, like adrenaline, shrinks down swollen nasal tissue. So this amphetamine inhaler was released on the market by this drug company, and this is the same drug company that he believed, anyway, had an observer at his talk in 1929. So he came to feel that they'd gotten the idea from him. Anyway, a lot of negotiations, and in 1934, they agreed on a deal where SmithKline and French would take on the rights for amphetamine salts and start overseeing its development as a medicine.
Stimulants such as amphetamine cause a release of the neurotransmitter dopamine from the axon terminal. Dopamine then activates receptor molecules, causing a postsynaptic effect. Dopamine is inactivated through the process of reuptake. In addition to causing release, amphetamine may also interfere with the reuptake process. With amphetamine causing the release of dopamine, as well as blocking its reuptake, dopamine continues to activate its receptors. Constant use of amphetamine can lead to unusually large amounts of dopamine in the synaptic.
But aside from all that, let's finally hear some opinions from some of our satisfied customers.
Mother Russia, we need all this energy because no one feeds us! Entering the world, I need all this energy! When you work at Burger King, you need so much energy. Hi, may I have your order, please?
Want to see me run to that mountain and back? You want to see me do it again?
Hey, Lucius, just want to share a little piece of personal information with you. I got a chubby right now because this is one of the most awesome experiences of my life because I'm getting in trouble right now. I can't believe it.
Simply amazing. So what are you waiting for? Get on the horn, get on that telephone, get on that telegram and call 999-992-9292 to start your trial with amphetamine now. But wait, you thought it was over? Well, how about if you call in the next 5 minutes, you can get an autographed book on how to use amphetamines for dummies written by yours truly. So call today.